Before we begin, thank you very much to Commander Ruin. All right, there's a name I can pronounce without question. Watch, it's actually pronounced Ruin. But thank you very much for joining my Patreon campaign. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's what keeps the lights going. It keeps me doing this on a daily basis, keeps the content going. I do appreciate all the support. I know not everyone can afford to do it right now because it's crazy expensive to live right now. Hitting like and subscribe before you leave the video, that also helps me out a lot. So thank you very much for doing that as well. All right, so before you stands a sealed in-box Transformers Alternator Chevrolet Corvette Battle Ravage. Why is it standing there? Well, I had a recent trip to Acme Superstore just outside of Orlando, Florida. Great toy shop, gigantic toy shop. It's where I usually get my sealed Beast Wars toys. I had this whole corner of my bedroom just devoted to all the carded Beast Wars toys I've collected. It's the one mint on card collection that I actually have and I actively try to add to every chance I get. At some point I need to come up with a checklist to have it, need it, don't want it. Yeah, so normally that's what I add to my collection. I added some of those too. But they had a stack of alternators this time, and I thought to myself, alternators, I remember when they came out, I remember them being difficult toys. They were so wrapped up in trying to get them to be 1/24th scale cars that they didn't really function as well as robots. And I can remember the transformations on them being what I felt at the time was very difficult. Some Grimlock especially were kind of infamous for how hard they were to transform sometimes. So I kind of thought to myself, I'm looking at this through rose-tinted glasses and a foggy memory because I probably haven't actually handled an alternator in over a decade. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have been through Revenge of the Fallen. I know overcomplicated Transformers now. So maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it was just, at the time, it was just more complicated than the norm. So I decided I wanted to see for myself. So, because this is an affordably priced alternator toy, and because the box is in kind of rough shape, so I'm not looking to flip it at some point, I'm going to open it up. And I know this video is titled 20-year-old alternator toy. Technically, Battle Ravage is 19 years old, so give it a year and the title will be correct. So, we are going to, we're going to crack into this. So, why buy it brand new in box? Well, one, I had the opportunity. Number two, it was either this or Sideswipe. And Sideswipe is not a good figure, I remember that, but I always liked the Trax figure. And at the very least, I like the look of the Trax figure a lot. And as we discussed on this channel previously, Battle Ravage is actually a really fascinating story behind it and how it ends up not only existing as a toy, but also working into the overall fiction. So, yeah, I thought if I'm going to own any of them, this is not a bad one to choose. So here we go. For you mint in box collectors, you might want to turn away now. This is going to start looking sacrilegious. So just in case, warning, I'm about to open an old toy. All right, so we're going to very gently slice into the tape here, like so. We're going to ungently slice into the cardboard here. And once again, very gently. And that bit doesn't even work because I still need to cut the tape. Don't worry. Only a box was harmed in the making of this video so far. All right. And we slide out. See, I always do appreciate alternators because it was the first time they were actually trying to produce toys for collectors, but because of that, they kind of hedged their bets. These toys were 1/24th scale, and they actually make a point to point it out on the box that yes, they are 1/24th scale, because that was the standard size for car collectors, and because they work the way toy cars do, where the hood comes up, the doors open up, and all that. They were really trying to court both potential Transformer collectors as well as car collectors, because that is how you make sure something unproven sells no matter what. Now, as we know, alternators, they were shelf warmers for a long time. They sold enough to keep going for a couple years, but like really, like they did not. Overall, they didn't perform great. So it's been a long time since we saw them or anything like them. There's always part of me that really wishes they would do some kind of like homage toy to them. Like I just keep like every time they do a Sunstreaker toy, I'm like, do Dead End. Do Dead End. It's like you always do the, you know, when it comes to Sunstreaker, you always end up doing the Diaclone repaints, but those are boring. Do Alternator Dead End. It's just like Sunstreaker gone evil. It's Sunstreaker in his emo phase. You know, that's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just a cool deco. It's a cool deco I'd like to see again. Alright. Are all my tabs cut from the box? Yes, they are. I'll flip this back up. Take that out. Look how nice they did on the inner tray. You see how they like designed it? So not only is like there's that Ravage artwork there in the corner, but they actually designed it to look like a mirror, which is kind of neat. So like it kind of looks the way that, you know, a toy car would. You know, without actually having to print mirrors on the inside of the cardboard. All right. So, trapped in your shell for nearly 2 decades now. Behold, Battle Ravage. Fresh air. I know, like, you spent 20 years in the same air that was in the Chinese factory. Now you're in fresh American air, which is only moderately more fresh than Chinese air, now that I think about it. So, let's get you out. And we need to get one last piece of tape. One last piece of plastic cut. And there we go. Shiny, black, smooth, beautiful. It is a very, very nice. It's been a while since I saw an Alternator in person. It just reminds me, like, I forgot how much attention they put into just making these things look like super nice cars. You know, so everything looks good still. The tires are still attached. You know, the rubber on them has not expired. Yep, everything still rolls really well. The wonders of pinned wheels, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, gentlemen, and all non-binaries in between. This part always weirded me out. Look at the top. So they remolded this from tracks to be the convertible version of the car. And they remolded this part in the back in order to accommodate that, but they left the windshield the way it was, which means it still has the bare spots where it's supposed to screw the parts together. Which is weird. It's really weird. I don't know why they went with that. If you've never experienced an alternator before, by the way, it's kind of a trip. So take a look. So the wheels here actually turn in sequence with each other. There's like an actual like magnetically connected axle going between them. Super cool detail. The doors actually do open, just like the actual car. The actual car does not have missiles hidden under its door. Just in case you were hoping for that. No, you do not have surface-to-air capability when you buy a Corvette. I know, it's disappointing. And then the hood also comes up as well, and you can see the engine inside. The engines on these were typically never accurate from what I'm aware. From what I've heard, the engines were usually just made up so they had something to turn into a gun. So this is where you start losing the accuracy, but hey, gun engine is a cool thing. It's a cool running theme for these toys. Should be able to get the engine out without transforming, because it's usually part of the transformation step is to get the engine out. I'm failing to do that. So, okay, we'll just go with it, and we'll just make it part of the transformation. All right, so now comes the part where we try to transform it. It's been a long time since I transformed this toy. I'm going to attempt to do it entirely from memory. And remember, these are known to be difficult transformers to transform. I'll see you on the other side. All right. All right, so if I lose focus on this, by the way, and by that I mean with the camera, not like mentally, If I lose focus, I do apologize. I'm just trying to pay attention and try and get this as smoothly as I can. So, let's see. Yeah, I remember where these go, because that's supposed to turn into the leg. That's the like hip skirts and the legs. You can untab these. See, well, no, I can't because they won't tab right back in. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay. All right, double hinge. All right, double hinge the hood up. Can I get the legs extended forward, because those are kind of double hinged to each other. Yeah, because it's the knee. Yeah, because now it's the knee joint in the way. No, jeez. Oh, very, very stuck. All right, let me see here. I'm trying really hard not to just snap all this in half or anything. All right, let me get the missiles out of the way, because I can at least do that. I know this section is supposed to split. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because this forms shoulder pieces, and that's where the arms are. All right, so I can go ahead and fold this fake windshield down. Fold the Decepticon logo up, get Ravage's head in the right spot, so that's correct. All right, let's see. Gotta rotate these out of the way. I can actually move the arms into their right spot. I need to untuck them from the rear of the Corvette. All right, like so. Admittedly, this is not one of the harder alternators to transform, so I'm kind of giving myself kind of an easy first attempt here. If it was, I remember there's some weirdness to Smokescreen had some weirdness to him. Like I said, Grimlock was widely regarded to be the hardest one to transform. I think even like the actual Jaguar Ravage that came out later is harder than this particular Ravage. So have that going too. Let me see if I can shake the engine loose by opening up the legs. All right. Yep. There we go. Engine blocks out. Now I got to where is this leg getting hung up on? Because I can see the knee. The knee has to uncollapse in order to get this in the correct spot. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right, come on. We gotta get this leg out. We gotta get. Oh, come on. It's... Man, like, I can see where it is. I can see where, like, this knee is supposed to extend in order to create the leg. But it's being really stubborn. It's hitting something. It's hitting something on the top side. And it's nothing I can, like, clear out of the way from here. So I've just I've got to get the leg extended before I can actually, Man, I don't know if it's sitting in a box for 19 years that's made it so stiff, or if this is how they always were. I don't remember, like, stiffness being the reason alternators were tricky to transform. I just remember, like, it's just mostly, like, weird step-by-step processes. Yeah, because, like, this arm is not moving anywhere, and I need it to move, because it's hung up, like, this section that's the rear of the leg. It's hung up on here. Jeez. Come on. I just need the legs out so I can move everything around. Like, the upper body's basically done. I just have to straighten all that out. So the lower legs are just, like, super tight for some reason. So I remember God, if I remember right, I thought I was supposed to just, like, hinge them down before I moved out anything. Yeah, see, like, I can kind of worm it out. Kinda. You can't see because my arm was in the way. Alright, got some kind of... We have some kind of traction. We have some kind of... There we go. Oh, finally. Finally. Alright. Leg 1 extended. Now we gotta do it on the left leg, too. Lovely. Alright. Let's try that again. I'm so worried I'm gonna put force on something and break something behind the leg that I'm not paying attention to. So I'm trying to go, like, really slow about it. Alright. Alright, legs are out. So, now, get that kibble folded up to the back. Now I can rotate the feet around and get those underneath him. Alright, now... folds into the hip skirts. This, don't know what to do with. I get the arms into the correct position. They have to come... They have to come down this, have to come down this angle. Where... How do I get the arms? Yeah, see, here's the trickiness of alternators, is like part clearance. Now I remember why alternators were annoying. It was always the parts clearance. I was always trying to get one part around another part. Alright, come on. Come on, you can make it. There we go. Alright, there. There we go. There we go. The missiles in the right spots. Alright. This is before the time of... It's before the time of, hinged ankles, so... I've probably got a lot of cleaning up to do on this toy, but it is in a robot mode now. And yeah, it's, engineering-wise, it's not tricky to transform because of the engineering. It's tricky to transform because the parts just need, like, a certain level of clearance that I'm not getting out of them. Which makes it, that's what made it difficult, because the parts on Alternator toys, because they had to do so much to keep them accurate, especially on the internal parts, there's a mess of things internally that have to go in just the right direction at just the right time. And like I said, some of the normal looking cars, like the Subarus and all that, they had some of the worst examples of that. So alternators was just they weren't, looking back at it now, like I can remember why they were complicated, but it's not comparable to why Transformers today are complicated, or why Transformers from like the movie era were complicated. That was because they were trying to get some crazy design to come out of a normal looking car. And it required a ton of folding and panels that rarely really like to cooperate with you. This is just a matter of, like, they had so much space to work with, and everything had to go in just the right direction in order to function right. Like, mechanically, the toy is fine. Like, it's definitely not nearly as articulated as I was hoping. Like, I was hoping it was more articulated than I remembered. It is not. But just like the actual process of transforming it is, about what I remember. It's, if I had practiced the transformation a couple times, that probably would have been much easier. If only because it would have softened up the joints a little bit. Like, those being stiff from being in the box for so long definitely caused some of that. But no, like, I'm not objecting to this Ravage. I'm not objecting to the transformation scheme. It's just, it is definitely one you would have had to have practiced. And yeah, I can remember now why some of the other alternators were so difficult. So, been a fun little trip down memory lane today. Probably going to take him home and goof with him a little bit more, just see if I can get a little bit more range of motion out of him, or to clean up the transformation a little bit. But yeah, it's a fun little experiment to go back and visit one of these. So thank you guys for watching. If this is your first experience with an alternator, because these are kind of getting to be old toys at this point, welcome to what we had to get in order to satiate our need for Generation 1 characters at a time when they were trying to produce nothing but new characters. Now welcome to the age where we're doing the opposite, where we're trying to push as much G1 as possible, and we're just begging and scraping and struggling to get anything new out of Hasbro these days. So, fun little reverse that it took about 20 years to hit. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.